You're watching Inside Durango News, your source for information about what's going on in Southwest Colorado. Sponsored by Fast Signs of Durango. More than fast, more than signs. Fast Signs.
Welcome to Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dixon. In this week's program, you'll learn about a new state-of-the-art mobile classroom now available to Southwest Colorado students. And we'll visit a Dolores area farm where turkeys aren't the main course on Thanksgiving Day. Rather, they're the cornerstone of a sustainable farm. But before we talk turkey, we're going to focus on deer. Herds of deer along roadsides is a pretty common sight in Plata County throughout the year, but according to Colorado Parks and Wildlife, the month of November is a particularly dangerous month for motorists coming in contact with wildlife, and the consequences can be pretty substantial. It's estimated that deer vehicle collisions lead to about 200 human deaths and $1.1 billion in property damage every year in the United States. During the month of November, large groups of deer and elk move from high-altitude summer ranges to low-elevation valleys to find readily available food. And to a hungry mule deer, Durango roadsides and backyards are a veritable buffet. While deer-related accidents can happen anywhere, a release from the Colorado Division of Wildlife highlights several roads in Plata County as high-risk areas. This includes Highway 160 from Pagosa Springs to Cortez and Highway 550 north of Durango. La Plata County commuters driving to and from home around dawn and dusk are asked to slow down, stay alert, and watch for movement along the roadside. Even if you just see one deer, there's a good likelihood that there are more nearby. Even though deer sightings in La Plata County are in no short supply this season, two distinct herds in neighboring Dolores and Montezuma counties have seen a significant decline in the last 15 years. The two herds in question, the groundhog herd and the Mesa Verde herd, could be falling victim to a number of factors, including drought, harsh winters, or disease. In an effort to help manage the herds, the Department of Wildlife is seeking public comment concerning future management in the mule deer population. Residents living within the herd boundaries are asked to fill out an online survey, which will provide insight to help guide the management plan for the next 10 years. Questions include whether residents have suffered any economic loss because of mule deer damage, if they believe fewer hunting licenses should be issued to increase buck population, and whether they would like to see overall herd populations increase or decrease. For more information about herd management, residents can log on to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife website at wildlife.state.co.us. Since Vetra Bank moved into its new location south of Walmart, the west corner of 11th Street and East 2nd Avenue has felt a little like a mini ghost town. But not for long. In 2014, La Plata County will remodel the old Vectra Bank building into new offices for the county commissioners, the county manager and administration, the finance office, and the county assessor. The building will also be equipped with a smart conference room equipped with technology that will allow the county to videotape and broadcast its meetings, if the commissioners so choose, said County Manager Joe Kirby in an interview with Inside Durango News earlier this month. The conference room will also be available for community meetings, he said. Construction on the old Vetra Bank building is expected to cost $3.5 million. Once county officials move into their new home, their old offices will be remodeled to accommodate federal court services that are now scattered in Bodo Industrial Park, at the Social Security Administration Building, and on Main Avenue. The move will allow the Federal District Court, Probation, U.S. Marshal Service, and the Federal Attorney's Office to move into the same building as the district and county courts. The consolidation will improve community access to the local, state, and federal court system. Cost to remodel the courthouse is expected to be $2 million. The county expects to recoup that cost from leases with the General Services Administration. The county still has not determined what to do with the two county lots across the street from the courthouse. Those are between 10th and 11th Street. It's a common lament amongst the unemployed. You can't get a job without experience, but you can't get experience without a job. Southwest Colorado Community College, a division of Pueblo Community College, hopes to resolve that dilemma with two state-of-the-art mobile learning labs that will be deployed to educate and train workers for local energy industries. Pueblo and Southwest Colorado officials recently unveiled the mobile classrooms now parked at the Durango and Mancos campuses during a news conference on November 18th. The two classrooms in Southwest Colorado were built as part of a $17.3 million grant awarded to the Colorado Community Colleges by the U.S. Department of Labor as part of their Federal Trade Adjustment Assistance Community College and Career Training Initiative. Pueblo and Southwest Colorado Community Colleges received $2.62 million to build the three 48 labs at a cost of about $300,000 each. One of the labs remains in Pueblo but will be available to Southwest Colorado students. The labs will be used to provide on-the-job training for unemployed and underemployed workers and students in electrical systems, mechanical systems, and welding, skills that are needed to find the well-paying jobs in the energy industry. Norm Jones, Executive Dean for Southwest Community College, said that instructors will partner with energy-related businesses to set up the mobile classrooms at their work sites.
This is the neat part of this. These will be individualized programs based upon the industry in which we're working with, the business that we're working with. It could be as little as 2 weeks. It could be 3 weeks. The point here is to drive what needs to be taught for that particular business. This is in combination. Not only the lab, it's not just the lab, it's the online training that the students will go through, and then obviously they will interpret that training and that education into the actual application within that business. So it's really a partnership with online study and training, actual mobile lab themselves, and actually initiating what they're learning online and then going into the business itself.
Mobile classes could be as short as a week to as long as 4 weeks, depending upon the training needs of the employer, said Jones. The labs will be a particular boon to high school students who enroll concurrently in college, because the college can now take the classes to the students at their high schools. It will also expose students to industries they might not otherwise have considered in the middle-skilled industries.
We hope through our concurrent enrollment program that we might be able to use these labs to augment and in fact supplement what they're learning in our own facilities on the West Campus for sure. So it could be that we could take these in a period of time, say at a particular high school, to give students an introduction to the possibilities of those programs that would train them for these middle skill jobs. I'm very, very high right now on trying to give some voice to these wonderful jobs that are in our society and in our community that really drive what we do, whether it be healthcare, whether it be in the energy business that we've just talked about, or the people that we run in every day that we depend on, that basically makes our lives better and helps us negotiate the technology, for example, that we have to deal with. So I'm really excited about this portion of it, in that we can take curriculum out there.
To enroll in an on-site mobile classroom program, contact Southwest Colorado Community College at 970-247-2929. With Thanksgiving just around the corner, it's time for the annual Salvation Army bell ringing campaign, a tradition that occurs in towns and cities all over the country from late November until Christmas Eve. The Salvation Army is the second largest charity organization in the country, and the tradition of the bell ringers collecting bills and spare change dates back to 1891, when a San Francisco Salvation Army captain set out a large kettle at a ferry landing with the hopes of collecting enough change to fund a Christmas dinner for the poor. By 1897, the program was operating nationwide and fed more than 100,000 people that year alone. The Salvation Army has grown exponentially since its early beginnings, and the money raised through local bell ringing efforts stays right here in Durango and helps to fund many things, including beds at the shelter, gas vouchers, food donations, prescription vouchers, and meals at Manna Soup Kitchen. The majority of the money collected in the iconic red bells is distributed each Friday through the Community Emergency Assistance Coalition, which helps those in need with emergency requests such as car repairs, rent, and much more. The Salvation Army Emergency Assistance funding is projected to be more than $100,000 for 2013. About 90% of the Salvation Army's yearly funds are contributed during the holiday season. There is no paid Salvation Army staff here in Durango. They're a volunteer unit, and during the holidays, they are always looking to expand their ranks. Those interested in ringing the bell this year are asked to call Sharon Weeble at 247-4763. 3 road construction projects totaling more than $11 million will make roads in La Plata County safer to drive. The good news is that nearly half of the funding for the 3 projects comes from the Colorado Department of Transportation's Responsible Acceleration of Maintenance and Partnership Program. Known as RAMP, the program offers matching grants to cities and counties to speed up construction and road projects deemed critical to the state's road system. The most expensive project is the $6.4 million extension of Wilson Gulch Drive west of Three Springs that will connect Wilson Gulch, where it now ends just south of Mercy Medical Hospital, to the roundabout at the Bridge to Nowhere Exchange. CDOT spokeswoman Nancy Shanks said the connection will allow traffic and emergency vehicles to drive directly to Three Springs without having to wait for the traffic signal at Three Springs Boulevard. The new access will improve safety and emergency deliveries to Mercy from the west. Ramp funds will cover more than half of the cost, while the City of Durango and La Plata County will split the remaining $2.1 million expense. Ramp funds will also be used to improve the intersection of Colorado Highways 172 and 151 in Ignacio. That's the main intersection in the middle of downtown Ignacio and the point at which travelers turn east to get to Navajo Lake. The project will include the installation of a signal light at a cost of $1.8 million. CDOT funds will cover the $1.4 million of that project, with the town of Ignacio picking up the rest. And finally, La Plata County will invest $3.5 million to align County Roads 513 and 311 at the Oxford turn on Highway 172, where several fatal accidents have occurred. That project will be covered by a federal hazard elimination grant, an emergency impact grant, and county funding. All three projects are expected to start in 2014. Next up, after the break, we'll visit a farm where turkeys are the foundation of a sustainable harvest.
Like Inside Durango TV on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
For natural and organic vitamins and supplements and health and beauty products, there's no better place than Nature's Oasis. We offer an experienced staff, nutrition and supplement education, and exclusive products. Nature's Oasis, home to the largest selections of vitamins and supplements in the Four Corners region.
All aboard! Polar Express. Well, you're coming?
It's a magic carpet on a rail.
Never takes a rest.
Flying through the mountains and the snow. With lots to see
And lots to eat.
Voyagers the best.
'Cause that's the way things happen on the Polar Express. May I present the North Pole?
Give your family a reason to believe. DurangoTrain.com.
Come check out what's new at the Ute Mountain Casino Hotel and Resort. We now have single and double deck blackjack games. Enjoy our King of the Cage boxing events year-round at our event center. If you're on the go, take a break at the new Ute Mountain Travel Center. With our valet service, you can arrive in style and get right into the action. Visit us for our Saturday prime rib buffet and our seafood buffet on Fridays. With the largest gaming floor in the area, Ute Mountain Casino Hotel and Resort has all the great games you love to play. Watch more at DurangoTV.com.
Next on Inside Durango News, we visit with a Dolores area family whose turkeys are a key ingredient in their sustainable farming practices.
To Tom and Mary Beth Gentry, turkeys are more than a centerpiece for Thanksgiving dinner. They're partners in creating a sustainable farm. The Gentrys operate the Eagle Tree Farm, a sustainable vegetable and poultry farm on 5 acres just south of Dolores. Tom works in construction while Mary Beth, who is a certified heavy equipment operator herself, stays home and tends her crops. They grow all manner of organic vegetables for sale at local farmers markets, restaurants, and farm-to-school programs in Ignacio, Bayfield, Durango, Mancos, and Cortez. They also harvest hay for their horses, raise chickens for their eggs, and raise production chickens and turkeys for meat. Production turkeys are birds that have been specifically bred to grow fast to 20 pounds. However, the market for large turkeys is changing. Few foodies want to buy turkeys that big. That's why the Gentrys have turned to heritage turkeys, and the birds are the cornerstone of their sustainable organic farming practices.
Well, right now I have Royal Palm turkeys, and they're a heritage breed, which means that they do everything that a production bird does not do. They fly, they breed, they graze. That's one of the main things about turkeys that are heritage and why I have them, is that they don't just eat manufactured feed. They actually forage, so they eat grasses and leaves and bugs and just everything that a production bird wouldn't eat. Everything is a circle on our farm. The turkey manure and the fact that they eat a lot of bugs keeps them out of my growing areas. So they're very good at pest control. The fact that they eat a lot of seeds, they spread seeds. Their manure is very valuable to me. A cornerstone of my production is composting. So all the nitrogen that the manure supplies works in my compost with my carbon factor, which makes perfect compost. And then all the pasture that we grow, and also our hay field, we do a pastured production model, which is turkey tractors, or they're movable pens really. And they stay in those pens on fresh grass, and then every day we move them. And as they, their droppings create nitrogen, it fertilizes our field. So we don't spend money on any kind of nitrogen fertilizer. Is no need, and it's natural.
With pounds and pounds of turkeys in the freezer, what will Tom and Mary Beth Gentry have for Thanksgiving dinner? Sushi, she told us. Sushi and a little turkey.
That story reminds us that appreciation for the abundance in our lives really is what Thanksgiving is all about. As will our next story on the 3rd annual Taste of Native Cuisine held at the Southern Ute Museum and Cultural Center to celebrate Native American Heritage Month in November.
The 3rd annual Taste of Native Cuisine and Culture Expo held at the Southern Ute Cultural Center and Museum in Ignacio on November 16th may have been billed as a foodie event, but it was so much more than that. It was an invitation to a giant family gathering of nearly 200 people to learn what it means to be a modern Indian community that weaves long-held traditions into customs that the current generation will carry into the future.
Today we're celebrating Native American culture as part of Native American Heritage Month. Indigenous peoples, have been a foundation of our country here, and we want to appreciate all the Native Americans. And this is the 3rd annual event, and we're having indigenous food, buffalo and elk.
Food is a fitting medium for sharing culture because what we eat is an expression of the environment in which we live, and how we gather food and prepare it is steeped in practice and tradition. Eat what I eat and learn who I am. Eat what Native people still eat and learn who they are. That's why the Taste of Native Cuisine incorporated indigenous foods from southwest Colorado. But like the tribe itself, the squash, bison, yucca, and wild mushrooms were served with a modern flair. Ignacio native and culinary arts trained chef Carlos Baca, along with Anthony Hamlin, a sous chef from Durango, prepared a menu of oak smoked bison served with juniper berry and wild mushroom ragu. Other choices included butternut squash bisque with citrus creme fraiche, buffalo stew and fry bread, elk, apple, and sage meatballs, pork belly braised in Navajo tea and served with chumayo red chili and honey glaze. And let's not forget dessert, cranberry and habanero mousse served with yucca chips and candied bear berries that Baca and his wife harvested themselves from the high country of the San Juan Mountains.
Like one of our ingredients, which is a bearberry, you can only get it about 10,000 feet in elevation. We'd spent about 6 hours wild crafting these berries. It's got about 2 cups, and so not only do you get a new food staple, one that we don't use traditionally anymore, and you also get to honor and respect what your ancestors did to survive.
The centerpiece of the experience was a Southern Ute bison that was harvested traditionally with prayer and respect, said Southern Ute Elder James Jefferson, who also serves as a board member for the Southern Ute Cultural Center and Museum.
You have good lean meat. That's why a lot of the Indians were healthy, well prepared, so that and we use it as a ceremony and all of that because it provided us with the food. So we give thanks to the buffalo for providing us with all of their food and whatever necessary.
The event began with ceremonial prayers in the main foyer of the museum, followed by the Apache Crown dancers from the Jicarilla Reservation in Dulce. An All Nations Promenade and other dances wrapped up the morning ceremonies before lunch. The event is the first in a series of activities the museum will roll out in 2014 to celebrate and educate the community about Ute culture. Exhibits from the Smithsonian Institution, educational programs in the schools, and other events are planned. For more information, log on to the museum's website at succm.org.
As the Southern Ute Cultural Center and Museum demonstrates, Southwest Colorado is a cultural and artistic mecca. One oasis in the landscape is the Durango Arts Center. Joining us after the break will be Center Executive Director Peggy Zemach.
Whether you make your plans over a barbed wire fence or over wireless internet, if you're coming from the stockyard or the stock exchange, Durango is right at home at the Diamond Bell, timeless and timely.
The Sporting News Grill at the new Holiday Inn and Suites of Durango is now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, featuring a full-service restaurant and bar with 11 HD TVs. It's a great venue for family and sports fanatics alike. The Sporting News Grill. Stop in and let us show you our game face.
The local pub is a tradition dear to the heart of any town. Durango's local pub is the Irish Embassy, a favorite with locals for breakfast, dinner, or just a pint with friends. With a traditional Irish menu and all your favorite brews on tap. The Irish Embassy, Durango.
Today, Dad's moving into Sunshine Gardens.
We're all really excited.
You sure are a hit around here. Woo!
And once he's settled in, I'm sure he'll come out of his shell.
I hear they even have a happy hour. How about that?
Well, I think he's going to like it here just fine.
You know, honey, I think you're right.
Meet Dan. He owned a dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more, so Fast Signs created a plan to raise Dan's business visibility. Now Dan has more sales, more stores, more of the good life. And more is what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs.
Welcome back to Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dixon. This week in the studio, our guest is Peggy Zemach. She's the Executive Director of the Durango Arts Center. And first off, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So I know that you've been in Durango for quite some time, and we definitely want to talk about the Arts Center. But first, what brought you to town?
The river.
The river, the mountains, everything?
My husband's a kayaker.
Nice.
Right before Durango, we were in Salt Lake City for his residency. He's a pediatrician. And we had been down to Durango many times, Animas River Days, and there was an opportunity for him to get a job as a pediatrician, and we jumped on it and have raised our children here, and it's been a great adventure.
And you've also had a pretty extensive career. I know you've worked with a couple of different organizations in town. So prior to the Durango Arts Center, what were you doing?
When I first moved here, I was first director of the Children's Museum, which used to be located in the Arts Center.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I've kind of come full circle.
Yeah.
Started at the Children's Museum and back in the same building. And then that project grew into the Discovery Museum. So I was involved with that on various levels as a board member, a staff member, a volunteer. So I was involved with that for about 10 years. And then I had an opportunity to work at the Southern Cultural Center and Museum. I was there for about 8 months, and that was a wonderful experience.
Mm-hmm.
And about that same time, I became a board member of the Durango Arts Center, and when Sherry Rochford Figgs left, they hired me to be the director.
So it sounds like arts and culture have always kind of been in your repertoire ever since you started.
Yes.
So how has kind of joining up with the Arts Center expanded your view of just kind of what the art scene in Durango is like?
Well, for one, arts is really an economic driver in our community, whether it's paying artist commissions or the tourists that we draw, whether they come in for the community concert hall or events at the Arts Center or music in the mountains. So the arts is really an important part of our economy here. I've also just really enjoyed meeting a lot of artists. I am not an artist myself.
But you're an art appreciator.
I'm an art appreciator, and I've met a group of very wonderful, creative people. And the Art Center has really become a community hub for Durango. I don't think of it just as an art center, but it's really a community center.
Well, I know personally when I do a little bit of research and look on your events calendar, I'm always shocked at how much you guys have going on, not just during the holiday season, but all the time.
We're busy. We do exhibits. We do about 10 exhibits per year. We have education classes for kids as young as 3 years old up through adults. We do theater classes for all ages, and then we do theater performances.
So plenty of ways to get involved, whether you're artistically inclined or not, it sounds like.
Yes, absolutely.
So now we were chatting a little bit about how you guys get your funding, and I was a little surprised to know that you don't get any public funding.
No, we don't. So we rely on memberships and donations and grants.
And you guys are doing something pretty cool right now, and it's a pretty big goal. It's called the Art Revolution campaign. Tell us a little bit about what that entails.
We received a $90,000 donation several months ago from a private a donor in Durango, with the challenge that we raise another $90,000 from the community.
Whew,
So a few of the board members and staff members got together and we came up with this concept of the Art Revolution.
Very nice.
So here's our logo. And we have buttons.
Waving the red flag to start a revolution. It looks
Right.
like you also there's other ways that you can show that you're involved
Yes,
with this.
we have a T-shirt. I started a revolution, and we have various levels of giving. For only $50, you can get this T-shirt, and feel how soft it is. It's a really nice T-shirt.
That is a really nice
good
t-shirt.
quality.
It is a good quality t-shirt. So for people that are looking to get involved in how they can give back, and I know you obviously take any donation, big or small, where's the first place for them to start to learn more about the Revolution campaign?
Our website, it's www.durangoarts.org.
Very nice. So obviously you've been with the Durango Arts Center for a while, and you say you're an art you appreciate art. What's your favorite medium? Is it hard to choose?
I love jewelry.
Spoken like many Durango women.
A lot of my friends and family would say yes, I love jewelry. I really also enjoy the ceramics.
Yeah.
I've bought a few pieces from the Art Center. It's one of the dangers of working there is I keep buying art.
Oh, I am sure. But actually that's a great segue, because for people that are interested in getting their hands on locally made, produced art from artists in the Four Corners, there's actually a great opportunity right around the corner for them.
There is. On Friday, November 22nd, we open our Winter Solstice Artisans Market. 5 to 7 is a reception, and that exhibit, we call it an exhibit, but it's more of a shopping spree, will be open until December 24th.
Great. So even if people aren't able to make it on Friday, there's plenty of times to go check out the gallery.
Absolutely.
And so are all mediums well represented? I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be a fair amount of jewelry there.
There's jewelry, there's textiles, there's ceramics, there's watercolors, there's a little bit of everything.
Very nice. So one more time, for people that are looking to get more information, where's the best place to send them?
Website is www.durangoarts.org.
Very nice. So that's where you can learn all about the Winter Solstice Market and get an excuse to go over there and maybe buy some locally made jewelry. Thank you so much, Peggy.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got your weekly updates.
Whether you make your plans over a barbed wire fence or over wireless internet, if you're coming from the stockyard or the stock exchange, Durango is right at home at the Diamond Bell, timeless and timely.
The Sporting News Grill at the new Holiday Inn and Suites of Durango is now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, featuring a full-service restaurant and bar with 11 HD TVs. It's a great venue for family and sports fanatics alike. The Sporting News Grill. Stop in and let us show you our game face.
The local pub is a tradition dear to the heart of any town. Durango's local pub is the Irish Embassy, a favorite with locals for breakfast, dinner, or just a pint with friends. With a traditional Irish menu and all your favorite brews on tap. The Irish Embassy, Durango.
Today, Dad's moving into Sunshine Gardens.
We're all really excited.
You sure are a hit around here. Woo!
And once he's settled in, I'm sure he'll come out of his shell.
I hear they even have a happy hour. How about that?
Well, I think he's going to like it here just fine.
You know, honey, I think you're right.
Meet Dan. He owned a dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more. So Fast Signs created a plan to raise Dan's business visibility. Now Dan has more sales, more stores, more of the good life. And more is what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs.
Welcome back to Inside Durango News, now for your weekly updates. Christmas tree permits to cut your own holiday tree in the San Juan National Forest or BLM lands in southwest Colorado are on sale now in the Public Lands Office in Bayfield, Dolores, Durango, and Pagosa Springs. Permits are $8 for one tree up to 20 feet tall for personal use. Offices are open from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday throughout the holiday season. The First United Methodist Church will host its Holiday Bazaar from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, November 23rd at 2917 Aspen Drive. Crafts, plants, and other gifts will be on sale, and a traditional Sloppy Joe lunch will be served starting at 11 a.m. Log on to what'shappeningdurango.com for more information. The San Juan Symphony will usher in the holiday season with the performance of favorite arias and choruses from Handel's Messiah starting at 3 p.m. on Sunday, November 24th in the Community Concert Hall. Concert tickets are available online at durangoconcerts.com. And that's it for this week. Join us again on Thanksgiving Day for our next edition of Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dixon, and remember, just watch us. You'll like what you see.
Tune in weekly to watch a new edition of Inside Durango News, your source for information about what's going on in Southwest Colorado. Inside Durango News has been brought to you by Fast Signs of Durango. More than fast, more than signs. Fast Signs. Inside Durango TV is locally produced by Fast Forward Media. Visit the scenic town of Silverton and take a Jeep tour through the heart of the majestic San Juan Mountains with San Juan Backcountry Tours. Visitors can get behind the wheel and explore the mountain roads on their own, or sit back on guided tours that take you through the rich history of the area, including the ghost town Animas Forks. You can rent a Jeep, ATV, dirt bike, or we can take you on a guided tour in one of our open-top Suburbans. Enjoy the spectacular scenery from 9,000 feet all the way to 13,000 feet in elevation. The San Juans have many scenic routes and four-wheel drive passes to explore, and our experienced staff can provide maps and suggest the best routes to get you where you want to go. We guarantee you a fun and memorable experience. Come explore the historic sights and beautiful scenery of the San Juan Mountains at San Juan Backcountry Tours.
It's time for rejuvenation with luxurious healing waters, breathtaking views, and lavish spa treatments at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs. Stay at the new EcoLux Hotel and enjoy 24-hour access to our 23 unique pools by the river. Indoors, relax in the hotel and enjoy therapeutic services at the spa. It's time for rejuvenation at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs.
All aboard! Polar Express! Well, you're coming?
It's a magic carpet on a wheel.
Never takes a rest!
Flying through the mountains and the snow. You love to see
And lots to eat!
boys just the best.
'Cause that's the way things happen on the Polar Express. May I present the North Pole!
Give your family a reason to believe. DurangoTrain.com.